Hello peeps and hello peppers and welcome to a very belated Film Friday. Hello stranger, if you've never been here, it's great to have you here. My name is Frida Martins. I am an artist with multiple disabilities from Germany in Iceland, and on the weekend I'm usually trying to retell a film, okay, not starring my thumbs usually, with tarot cards. And I'm still designing my own tarot card deck. And yeah, those are still 17 cards left to paint or to improve. So I'm kind of thinking of this song, Feels Like I'm 17 Again. And when I was 17-ish, a film came out that is called The Other Sister. It's my understanding that this is by the same director as Pretty Woman. And yes, it is also a love story where society has an opinion about everything, but it was very close to home because, like, the main characters were both disabled. Of course, they had it was a little bit of a wishy-washy if they had a learning disability or intellectual challenges, but point made, they acted a little bit like big children, but from their heart, and it's my understanding that the actors also took authentic children from their circle of friends and family as their kind of role models. And it is, as my relatives pointed out, a very predictable movie, but it's also like, I find it very like genuine. I find like very many issues there relatable as an autistic person. Like at the point we didn't know I had autism, by the way, but like I have a motorical disability, which is like not necessarily obvious at first sight. Let's get right into the game. I'm already babbling too much again, but that's sort of also my trademark. Three of Pentacles. Yes, of course, this puffin is painting something. And I have been like painting or drawing something basically all my life because this is my favorite manner of speaking. We don't have any Easter eggs in the movie because like the majority of the plot takes place around the American Thanksgiving, which is in November. But yeah, actually this young woman who wants to look pretty like her peers, she gets herself into a makeup sample session where like the people only paint half of her face and tell her then that was just a demo version, and if she wants the other half of her face equipped with makeup, then she needs to pay $50. So yes, I have to learn to read the small print too, and I sometimes need to come out of my eggshell slowly but surely. Queen of Pentacles, of course, coming out in reverse often should mean the opposite in tarot reading, but yes, it is actually a giant issue in my life that a disability advocacy group overemphasize that I should do something to feel myself pretty, to the point that I started feeling really ugly and started caring way too much about other people's opinions. And I mean, there is no disability advocacy as such in the movie. But there are a lot of people, especially the mother, who intend well and actually do more damage than good. The young woman named Carla is really interested in exploring life, in learning on her terms, but in a like a normal evening school. And okay, today, while I was bridging some time, I was in a really lovely bookstore where I bought myself a notebook with I don't really think they are necessarily hummingbirds. I think those are moho, like honey eaters, where the female has a different beak than the male. Like this would be the female and this would be the male. And they have to kind of learn to work together to harvest the honey. And actually, Carla in the movie and her partner, Danny, learn to work together. And when the mother says, but Danny can't take care of you, Carla says, yes, we can take care of each other. And I thought that was like one of the best points of the movie. And I actually bought this book to remind myself that like working together as a community is often more fruitful than working alone all the time. Yeah, this is the card that like an ornithologist told me that this is the mating posture of the puffin. So yes, the young couple also needs resources for being intimate and to convey their needs. Yes, the story with the book to the effect in the film is hilarious, but okay, I don't want to recite it. You have to watch it. The high priestess here should mean like wisdom. And I don't know if people in the film are wise, but let's say, of course, this is a very American Hollywood movie, so it also subscribes to these Hollywood values of the day, like individual development and being proud of oneself. So I would say Carla is her own Lady Liberty to create her own life, which is positive, but there are also, like, let's say, non-Hollywood films that one could maybe rather watch to have a, like, less synthetic picture and more facets. Because, as said, the film is a little bit predictable, even though it's hilarious and relatable. Yeah, so this could be the harvest. Like, of course, Carla wants her own apartment, and so she basically convinces her parents. Of course, we have to mind they are pretty rich. Like, okay, pentacles always mean some sort of richness. So, let's say there is no talk about applying for anything from the social system. It looks like both sets of parents finance their children basically out of their own pockets, and like Danny's parents are not so well off, and then Carla asks her parents if he can go live with her in the apartment that they rent for her. And what says the puffin? At least initially, no. So we have to have a mindful eye when we watch this, that it's probably not universal, the film. Like, let's say, as I have said now 5 times, many points are relatable, but we should not push all points on everyone. And the children are a little bit, like the adult children are a little bit dependent on the adults. Or a little bit too dependent because, like, the system doesn't jump in. Probably because Carla's parents have too much money. Okay, this is also things coming to fruition. Can't lay anything on this card right now, but yeah, there is a mountain of both realistic and absurd obstacles, and there is a net of like messages that the young people don't understand from society. Like by today's measure, you would probably call them autistic. Yes, they read books. But they read books on their own terms with illustrations. Yes. In tarot reading, this card always means like considering an offer from all sides. And of course, the young people have to learn how to consider offers like jobs, apartments, rental contracts, as far as they can. Like it's the line what they are kind of allowed to decide for themselves is a little bit wishy-washy, but the message of the film is that they shall decide as much as possible for themselves. And they make their will known. And of course, sometimes they are lining up for food, and they are kind of just living in their own tempo, and in the end they decide to get married, and so they have to actually, like, the sad thing is that that Carla's bossy mother says she doesn't want to attend the wedding, but let's say then something happens that, oh, we got a wedding cake here. Yeah, something happens that shows that the mother has learned things and does want to be a part of her daughter's new life and newly gained independence, even though that means like a volcano in her life. The King of Pentacles, like, let's say the father of Carlos is presented as like with a much more dry, laid back humor. And like he says something of type, our children turned out right, like they are not alcoholics, they are not addicts, and they didn't vote for a certain politician that this person was pictured as not liking. While the mother always complains, like the middle daughter doesn't have a job that is apt to her knowledge, and the other one is a lesbian. And then, of course, Carla thinks she can do everything, but in fact she can't. But well, she trumpets it out to the world that she can when she lets her talents and things organically grow. And she doesn't need to sit in a hole. And yeah, I mean, the Fool card is always like starting something, and Carla indeed gets started, and gets started without a lot of knowledge, but she learns as she goes. And of course, I always have my finger in the picture here because it is anti-perfect. I mean, Hollywood films are kind of clean cut, but let's say to me, the film was an invitation to see that reality is not perfect. So I'll see you tomorrow for the next anti-perfect video. Bye bye.